Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Inhumans versus X-Men issue number 4. Now, you know why this comic is so awesome, besides the fact that it's so awesome? It's that I forgot that it was coming out this week, so that was totally awesome. Guys, they decide, the Inhumans, they figure out a way to escape. I like that they're showing that Medusa is a very capable leader, because we always had Black Bolt as the leader, and of course he couldn't speak, otherwise he'd blow up New Attilan, and they'd have to do some major redecorating. So it was always Medusa who had to do all the talking. Well, here is Medusa talking for herself, and it's really awesome. I really love seeing her kicking some serious butt the way she does, and she comes up with the idea, essentially, to make a parabola machine, a machine that will actually send sound wave in a direction that will detonate the shield generator itself, that will therefore release the shield, and then they can fight their way through the demons and into the X-Men school, and then retrieve Black Bolt and whoever else might be being held, and then get the heck out of there. Now, mind you, I'm going to remind you, in one of the comics earlier, they said, the X-Men had said, if they find out what we did to Black Bolt, they're going to be really pissed. So yeah, I can't wait to see exactly what that means, because this is looking scary, spookily, freaky, weird. Now, in the latest X-Men, I believe it was Extraordinary X-Men number 18. I think it was number 18. I just reviewed it, and I'm going to link it here. We got to see Scott Summers come into his own. Young Scott. He kind of, came out and like, hey, I'm good. I'm set, because I realized that my older self wasn't actually the guy who was responsible for all this. It was actually Emma. Now, in that comic, we saw that Mosaic had taken over Magneto just for a moment. We didn't see what exactly he did. He just went and got the basic information, and then he had to get the heck out of there, and he decided to jump into Scott. It's so funny. He was told by a reader to stay away from blondes and redheads, because those are all telepaths. And the comment later on is just X-Men fame in and of all itself, where they mentioned that, the X-Men, of course, are going to be really well guarded against psychics, because they got so many psychics and they've had to deal with so many psychics, so their minds are going to be so strong against any kind of psychic attack. So Magneto actually booted Mosaic out of his mind, which is awesome, because in Mosaic issue number 4, I know I stopped reading it. I stopped reviewing them for you guys. Sorry. It started to get a little bit too much, too many comics to read. And unfortunately, even though I really love reading Mosaic, the fact is that it's just one of those comics, it's too much to read. So anyway, in the latest issue of Mosaic 2 weeks ago, he went into Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was putting a fight back, but literally he didn't have a chance against Mosaic. He's that powerful. But Magneto just literally, get the heck out of my mind, you impetuous youth. And it was pretty much almost verbatim what I just said. That's what Magneto said. And also, he wasn't knocked unconscious for 12 hours like Scott is going to be. It's very cool. We get to see a bit more of the conversation, a bit more of actually what happens there. I really like, so you guys got to go back and look at my review, or if you can still pick up the comic, I recommend it. I do recommend it. It's a huge turning point, in my opinion, for Scott Summers. It actually made, Dennis Hopeless is actually the guy writing it, and I decided that, yeah, I'm going to start following Dennis Hopeless on Twitter, because I really love this comic that much. And the one right before it was a really great one with Bobby starting up a relationship with an Inhuman. Very, very cool stuff. He's actually up for a GLAAD award for that also, which, very impressive. Basically, the X-Men are just there trying to figure out what they're going to do now that Forge is captured and the machine is taken down out of commission. And Magneto eventually reveals that he was compromised. So it's really funny seeing him compromised. It's hysterical. You guys got to read this just for that. And I know you guys are going to go and pick up this comic, because it's kind of one of those crucial ones. I know you're hating on the Inhumans. A lot of you guys hating on the Inhumans, but one, stop. Two, man, this was just great, seeing Magneto completely like not him for all intents and purposes. And I've also, honestly, reading Mosaic, I've never seen him like this either. He's really funny in this. So this comic pretty much ends with Storm calling up Colossus, who's essentially at the X-Base alone, the school in Limbo, trying to figure out what's going on. And he says, you want me to take these guys on? All these Inhumans who just escaped. You want me to take them on alone? She says, yeah, I'm really sorry. He says, no, it's fine. I just wish to clarify. So Colossus is about to kick some serious butt, and literally he comes storming up through fire. Johnny Storm sets fire to the place, like the whole school sets up some fire. That was his choice, not the Inhumans' choice. It wasn't supposed to be that bad. Anyway, Colossus just comes walking right through the fire, and he says, "Who is to be first?" And wow, that would be intimidating. And I really like him with the beard now. It's very cool. And rounding this all up, the new humans, the new Inhumans, the younger breed, including Miss Marvel, they're just hanging out, and Scott Summers, as Mosaic shows up and they give the information, Marvel Girl's a little bit like, Kamala Khan, oh my God, Scott, what are you doing here? And then realizes that's not really the case. But Mosaic, of all the things that he reveals, he says why the X-Men are doing this. You see, none of the Inhumans knew exactly what was going on. So now the young Inhumans, again, guys, if you're not reading Mark Waid's Champions, forget about it. If there's only one comic that you pick up by Mark Waid that's out right now, don't let it be Avengers, but make sure it's Champions. It's such an absolutely incredible read. I don't think I'm capable ever of expressing how crucial, it's a great comic. Just go pick it up. But basically it is the youth here, and they're realizing, oh my God, what's going on? And Miss Marvel actually says at the end of it, guys, who are the good guys? And it's just, and that's where it says to be continued. And it's just, oh man, if you were rooting against the Inhumans before, you absolutely can't be now. And I'm not saying to root against the X-Men. No, just because you pick one side over the other doesn't mean that the other side you hate. No, I love both of these teams. And it's one of those things, it's kind of like a civil war where you're just like, guys, I wish you would just stop and talk to each other. And that's what the Inhumans wanted to do the entire time. And now maybe these kids will actually be able to get through to the older X-Men, because yeah, like this is just getting to be way too much, and this comic can't come out any faster. This should be a weekly comic. I'm just suggesting this should be a weekly comic. I can't wait to see all of the little side comics that come out with this, guys. This comic is getting an A+. Absolutely, this is probably the best one out of them all because such great messages in here. Guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, class dismissed.